So my introductory comments today will establish the content, the context, and the stakes of this conference, and are very much about UCLA, about the institution that I know fairly well. And my comments are titled, "Why Did There Need to Be Two of Them?" I would like to begin with a parable. Now, most people don't know it, but Noah wasn't the first person God approached about building the ark to survive the flood. First, she went to Zoah and asked him if he would build the ark. And Zoah replied, "Sure, God," and built a beautiful and functional ark. God was very pleased. She then told him to gather together 2 of every creature to board it. Zoah looked puzzled and asked, "Well, why did there need to be 2 of them?" God said, "I'll get back to you," and moved on to Noah. Survival, generation, binaries, the dialectic, sexualities, reproduction, and most everything else require difference, and difference needs at least 2. While Zoah did not survive the flood, his spirit lives on today in administrative responses. Why did there need to be 2 of them? This question motivated new majorities. The 2 in this instance have to do with curricular units and research centers. At UCLA, the Women's Studies Department trains graduate and undergraduate students in women's studies. Though inter- and multidisciplinary, like all departments, it looks inward to a discipline. The Center for the Study of Women, an organized research unit, supports faculty, graduate, undergraduate, and community scholars' research on gender, sexuality, and women's issues in a number of disciplines and throughout the college and university. It looks outward to the entire campus and to the community. Senior administrators have posed the question directly to me, as they have to directors of the Ethnic Studies Research Centers. Women, African Americans, Asian and Native Americans, Chicana, Chicanos, why do there need to be 2 types of units relative to each group? I doubt any administrators have asked that of anyone in the 3 music departments and music school here at UCLA, or the 4 chemistry departments. These are not just multiplicities of disciplines, but they also exist across different divisions in the college and professional schools. No one is saying that chemistry needs to be in just one place. But diversity of intellectual enterprise and institutional location seems to end when the subject or object of study is a minority or other underrepresented group. One argument we hear these days, and I'm sure you all have heard them, and these kinds of arguments were brought up earlier in the day today, is that feminist, ethnic, race, and sexuality-based claims for representation and scholarship and on the faculty have been answered in courses and FTE assimilated into the traditional disciplines. This argument begs the question, what would UCLA look like if there were none of them? I would like to share a few data snapshots of the university and what it would look like if the research units, the IDPs, and the departments committed to diversity did not exist. Let's see what the traditional departments are doing about these areas. Here's what the Division of Social Sciences would look like. Okay? At the top, we have where we are now, the current social science faculty. The second table is what that faculty would look like without the diversity ORUs, IDPs, and departments. And then the impact is on the bottom. We have the, race in the vertical and gender in the horizontal here. And I'd like to just talk through what these numbers mean. And I'll focus on the bottom the impact in percentages. Without the ORUs, IDPs, and departments, white male faculty in the social science division would be, not surprisingly, wholly unaffected. Right? No change. White women would be reduced by 9.7%, not insignificant in a division where female faculty has accounted for less than 1/3 of the faculty for most of the last decade. However, when we turn to the percentages of minority faculty, the impact is staggering. Without the faculty located in the diversity ORUs, IDPs, and departments, the number of male faculty of color would be reduced by more than half, 56.9%, and female faculty of color by 49%. As these numbers make clear, in both cases, these units, the diversity units, are doing half the work of diversifying a division with some of the largest departments on campus and the 5 smaller diversity programs. Elsewhere in the college, so this is a snapshot of the social sciences, and I think it kind of makes the point. Also I'd like to talk about, just give you just brief sort of pictures of what would happen elsewhere in the college. And the impact here also is striking, and this is largely due to the role of the ethnic studies research centers. In the English department, 15 faculty of color would be reduced by a total of 5.5, or by 36.7%. In urban planning, 3.5 faculty would be reduced by 2.5, or 71.4%. Ethnomusicology, 6 faculty would be reduced by 2, or by 33.3%. In social welfare, 4 faculty would be reduced by 1, or 25%. In theater, 4 faculty would be reduced by 2, or 50%. In public health, 17.5 faculty would be reduced by 2.5, or 14.3%. In law, 10.5 faculty would be reduced by 1, or 9.5%. In education, the one success story here, 20 faculty would be reduced by 1, or 5%. This is a department that has very successfully diversified. Out of 44 total faculty, 20 are minority, and 17, or 38.6%, are women. But this department is the exception. It's useful to note that this department is smaller than English or law, which have 50 and 59 faculty respectively, but a lower number of minority faculty. These figures clearly indicate that the diversity ORUs, IDPs, and departments at UCLA function to fulfill UCLA's mandate as a land-grant institution, and that the traditional departments, for the most part, have not taken up this mandate. This is why you need 2. The research units that work across departments and the IDP departments that build critical mass within degree programs. The call of this panel is how each of our speakers would remake the university. For me, in keeping with the mandate of a land-grant institution, that the UC represent the population of the state that sponsors it, that university would be made up of 55% women and would be 65% non-white. In point of fact, that is the university of today, at least at the undergraduate level. Today, 52% of the students at the University of California are women. That percentage, of course, drops among graduate students to 43%. 60 to 65% of our students, our undergrads, are non-white. But if we look closer, we can see significant disparities for underrepresented minorities. There are twice as many international students as there are African American students at the UC, and 10 times as many as there are Native American students. And of course, it was mentioned earlier, there's a big push in the UC to raise the number of international students for the money they will bring in. Latinos, 37% of the state's population, represent just 14.4% of undergraduates. And then if we turn to the faculty and the percentage of faculty members, the numbers decline drastically. 0.4% of the overall UC faculty is American Indian. 2.5% are African American, 14.5% are Asian, 5.3% are Hispanic. In a state that for some time has been minority majority, the faculty in the UC system is 76.5% white. Looking at gender UC-wide, 29.7% of the faculty is female, 70.3% is male. The overall numbers of system-wide indicating significant gender and diversity inequities are on par with UCLA's very similar numbers. At UCLA, 74.9% of the faculty is white and 71.5% is male. Without the contributions of the diversity research and degree programs, the percentages would be much closer to 80%. Okay, this is really this uplifting information, isn't it? Okay. Much more work remains to be done to diversify and provide equity for faculty in the UC system as well as at UCLA. That work is done by difference, by many and more efforts to diversify the campus in 2 or more places. There is a flood coming in terms of changes in demographics and public funding, and we simply cannot afford the kind of question that refuses to engage, let alone benefit from, difference. Thank you.